I see what ho, chaps and chappets, Game Chap and Bert here.
Yes.
Yes, Videos, and I dare say we are now investigating how to destroy people as Ganondorf in the new Super Smash Bros. For Glory, you know.
Yes, Ganondorf, quite low on the tier list we were talking about the other day, but nevertheless, you can win with him and we'll show you high.
Yes, that's right. Now, of course, Ganondorf is indeed the first thing we have to count right away and say it, Videos. He's a low-tier character. Now, I have to say, he has good combo setups despite what he may appear to be, but he is very slow and easy to combo, especially at low percents due to his weight. That means other people can juggle you around quite a lot because Ganondorf's a heavy and slow character.
Most certainly, and of course remember, he is also weak against projectile users, especially spammers.
That's right, of course. So if someone's spamming projectiles against you, Ganondorf's going to have a bit of a hard time against that. Particularly characters like Mega Man can be troublesome for him, and what we're going to be looking at here, as you can see, is some of the higher tier character matchups and how to beat them off, you'll say. Now, of course, he does not like people right up in his face, does he, old chap?
No, he doesn't. Most certainly not. Because mainly his options to respond are rather slow, you see, even his jab.
That's right, of course. So if a character is right up in your face, you don't really want to be in that position because his jab is slow, his other options are slow, his tilts are quite slow, and they can get in hits before you. Now, also, Ganondorf has very, very poor recovery.
Yes, indeed. So one thing you'll want to do is keep him well away from the offstage region as much as you possibly can.
That's right, especially characters like Greninja have that nasty little gimping move, the up special recovery move he can do, can catch you out nicely, as can various other characters. So make sure, and for goodness sakes, don't mess around with Mario offstage. That cape is nasty. Now, also, Ganondorf's grab is absolutely terrible.
Yes, terrible grab with Ganondorf, and as we said just a moment ago, a low to bottom tier, so they say. So very few favourable matchups.
That's right, if any. So the grab is not really something you're going to want to be using. But, I say, despite all we've just said, Ganondorf is very fun. And now to the pros.
Exactly, so we've done the cons, as you say. Now to the pros.
Well, yes, what do we have here? Well, firstly, of course, I have to say, and this is the truth, you know, Ganondorf hits like a bag of hammers, and his killing options really are superb. There are so many possibilities, even at low percents, to kill.
Most certainly, and that's iron hammers, not the chocolate ones. He really does hit with a punch.
He does, I say. So you're going to get hit by your foes an awful lot while you're playing as Ganondorf. They are going to get in hits. He's slow and easy to combo, as we said before, but when you get in a solid hit or combo, it's worth many, many hits from them to you. In other words, he hits much harder than they do.
Most certainly, so they're going to get really shaken when they get hit.
Like they just did, as you could see there.
Exactly, just as you saw on the screen there. So your patience is rewarded greatly if you don't mind getting knocked about a bit, you see.
That is the truth, and indeed I have to say the watchword for Ganondorf is patience. You have to wait for your opportunity, that's key. You have to watch your enemy closely and carefully guard around them, punishing the slightest mistake. Like that, as you can see, very bad recovery, so try to stay off of the offstage region if you can. But as I say there, make sure you keep a careful eye on what your opponent's doing. Try to read them and catch them out when they make a mistake.
Yes, most certainly. And as you can see, hopefully, from what's going on the screen here, shield, roll or evade your opponent, walk or run as you wish, and use his powerful side and down tilt moves to get in punishing attacks.
That is the truth. As you can see there, the down tilt and the side tilt, these are very important moves in Ganondorf's arsenal. And there's a kill with the up here, as you can see there. But indeed, what you want to do is dodge and avoid them, and when they mess up near you, you can of course punish them. You can use a down tilt or a side tilt or a jab and other moves to set up a nice little combo going.
Most certainly. Now also, don't forget the use of the Ganon Kick, down B special, and Flame Choke, but we'll speak more about that in a minute.
That's right, of course. As you say, the Ganon Kick, or the, I think it's called the Wizard's Foot officially, but the Ganon Kick is his down special move. The down aerial, as you can see, also is particularly devastating when you use it right, despite its nerf, and indeed the Flame Choke. Now, I dare say, one of the very important things with Ganondorf, players, if you want to win as him, you're going to have to take him into training mode, or certainly do a lot of online practice, and learn his combos, particularly so with Ganondorf, because you need to get the most out of every opportunity you see.
Most certainly, and if you learn those combos and you're good with them, people think, oh, well, he's a lower tier, I could beat this one easily. Then you give him a right shock.
That's right. And what you just said there actually is a very important point, El-Chat. People, when they see Ganondorf, they tend to sort of laugh themselves and think, oh, it's only Ganondorf, he's so easy to beat, I'll wipe the floor with him. But it's not so, and you can catch people off guard because they're not expecting a lot of resistance.
Most certainly, so a good idea. If you can try to force them to approach you, many people will camp you using projectiles and they'll want to try to get you to approach.
That's right. Well said, old boy. Now, the opponent will indeed, on many cases I've seen in For Glory, they'll just stand there at first. I mean, they'll just stare at you. They'll wait for you to approach. But with Ganondorf, you don't really want to do that if you can avoid it, particularly not against projectile users. If you run against a projectile user, you're going to end up with a laser in the face or some other projectile, so don't do that. Try to get them to approach you.
Most certainly. Now, if you must approach, you can use the old dash attack or sometimes Ganon kick, down B special. Also, a reverse aerial rush sometimes works. You can jump backwards and use reverse aerials on them.
You can, old boy. So, just covering there the approach was once more. Ganon's approach options may be limited. You want, of course, to get them in your power, as it were, so you want to entice them in with baits and mind games, etc. and so forth. But as Birdie says there, you can use the dash attack to approach them. Sometimes you can use the Ganon kick. It's a bit laggy, the old Ganon kick. It's a quite short range, so learn its range. Quite hard that to master. Yeah. But also, if you want to be particularly adventurous, you can use reverse aerials too. The back air is quite powerful. Now, I had to say, you have to use Ganon's power patiently. This is the keyword. Wait for your chance and then destroy the enemy once you get the chance to do so.
Most certainly. Now, old Ganon's aerial game is extremely good.
That's right, it is.
Yes, his up air is fast and deadly, and it can also combo.
That's right, indeed. Ganon's aerial game, it has to be said, is a very, very surprisingly good game. He has many fast and powerful aerial options. The first of these is, of course, as Birdie says, the up air. Now, the up air is fast and deadly, and it can combo, like Birdie just said. His back air is a reliable and very solid killing move on the sweet spot, and also is quite fast.
Yes, most certainly is. Now, his down air is the fabled Thunder Stomp, which, although nerfed in this game, is still acutely deadly offstage and can actually chain into itself on stage.
That's right. Now, the down air, as you say there, Birdie, is the Thunder Stomp. That is a very, very powerful attack. Its use on stage has been removed somewhat in this game because you can't star KO them as easily, although it's still possible. But what you'll want to do is use that off stage to crush them very, very quickly, like we did at the start of the video on Meta Knight. Now, also, you have to understand with the down aerial, it has a lot of landing lag when you land, so be very, very careful. People can exploit that to punish you if you miss with that particular move. Now, his forward aerial move, meanwhile, is the Skull Crusher. Now, that's devastating and comes out very quickly, so you can actually use it to kill if you can land it. It's also a very good punishing option, the forward aerial, because of its knockback.
Ah, most certainly. Now, his double kick neutral air is much faster than in Brawl and can be used to stop enemy combos and break up the fight.
That's right. So as we said before, if you've got someone in your face aerially and they're juggling you around, you can sometimes use a neutral aerial double kick move, and that comes out quite fast and can actually break their attacks quite well. It's a pretty good move in this one, so don't underestimate it. Now, moving on to one of Ganondorf's core principles, and this is really important videos. It's called the Flame Choke, his side B special. Now, for Ganondorf, these are very, very important because on many characters in the game, not all but many, you can actually use a Flame Choke followed by a down tilt, and that's a very, very good combo, and many people will fall for that. It can be teched out of if you know what you're doing, but it works on a great many people online, and you can also follow that up with a dash attack, aerials, and other moves as appropriate. Now, even if you can't use the down tilt combo after the Flame Choke, sometimes you can Flame Choke repeatedly if you can read where the opponent is going to roll, or if they'll just lay on the ground, so you can just Flame Choke over and over again for 9% per time. Also, you can Flame Choke and then hit them if you can predict what they're going to do.
Ah, so the Flame Choke, what is that move exactly?
That's the side B where he sort of extends his arm and shoots forward in purple energy. You know, it's the nasty move of his, and it's very, very good because it cuts straight through shields as well. It counts as a grab, you'll see.
Yeah, rather good.
Yes, indeed, old boy. Now, more on the Ganon kick. This is, of course, the down B. When used in the air, the Ganon kick is your best friend because it's an extremely devastating killing move. Now, the Ganon kick, if it lands on someone who's also in the air, it'll send them down to the bottom of the stage, or rather the stage surface, and then shooting up in the air for a star KO. And that works even at medium percentages. But be very careful because it has a long landing lag just like the down aerial. So if you Ganon kick into the ground, you're going to stay there for a while on the ground and give the opponent a chance to punish once again. So be careful and try to hit with it if you use it.
Ah, yes. So we've seen a few Ganon kicks on screen, I suppose.
I think so, old boy.
Most certainly. Now the Warlock Punch, his standard B move, can be used for mind games and sometimes to land a lucky hit, as it were, on an unsuspecting enemy.
Indeed, old boy. Now, of course, the Warlock Punch... You know that one, old chap. It's very, 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 very slow and very predictable, so for goodness sakes, don't ever use it. But if you have a helpless enemy, or someone who's made a big mistake and there's lots of lag, and you can predict them, you can actually use that to knock them flying. But don't do it all the time, because it'll get very predictable, otherwise you'll lose fast. It's just once in a while.
Almost certainly, yes.
Yes, and most certainly not least, we come to Ganon's side. This is one of the best things about Ganondorf video. So Ganon's side is, of course, a match decider. Now, this should be used whenever you get the chance, because Ganondorf's low tier anyway, I see.
Yes.
Ganondorf's side B, Flame Choke move, whilst offstage, can be used to blast forward and grab an unsuspecting simpleton who is standing too close to the ledge, rather. Now, when you grab that chap in your grasp, you will jump up into the air automatically and escort him down to his doom on the blast zone. So hold away from the stage after you grab them, and you'll send them straight down to the blast zone below, along with Ganondorf himself. But if both players have one stock left, that counts as a win for Ganondorf. So, in other words, if you can pull off the Ganon side as it's known, which is a suicide move, dragging the foe down to the abyss, and there's one stock left each, you'll win.
So that's rather clever, and a crafty move too, if they're both rather low on health. Giving Ganondorf the win. Is there any examples on the screen?
Rather high on damage win. Yes, I think we've seen a couple of Ganon sides, and of course the beautiful thing is it'll work at any percentage. Even if you're at very high percents and the opponent's on 0, you can actually get them with Ganon side. It's that good.
So that's a crafty move. So that's a whole slew of moves there by which you can win with Ganondorf, even though he's what they say is a low-tier character.
Yes, that's right. So baiting the opponent, make sure they keep approaching you, punish their mistakes, and remember, Ganondorf is a heavy chap. He can live for a very long time if you keep him away from the edge of the stage, and don't let yourself get knocked too far off stage.
Certainly.
So those tilts videos, the Ganon side, the Flame Choke, the Thunder Stomp, the Ganon Kick, and many more, all of these are used carefully and patiently to outsmart, wait for the foe, and then ultimately kill the foe after they've made enough mistakes. And remember, don't worry if you get hit a few times, because Ganondorf can dish out a lot of punishment. He hits like a bloody freight train, old chap.
Most certainly. So super tips to beat people with the big bad Ganondorf from Game Chap and Bertie. Where do you get this stuff?
Well, I don't know.
My word!